Content presented in Cheshire Corners is for educational and informational purposes only. Please consult a legal professional if you have any questions or concerns about the content of this disclaimer, this series, or the legal implications surrounding psychedelic substances in your jurisdiction.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Cheshire Corners. My name is Rita Tsalyuk, and I will be your host as we trip through the looking glass.
My name's Taylor Heinz, and I'll be your co-host today as we trip through the looking glass.
Yeah, the series Tea Time with Taylor, right? Is that what we're doing?
I think we're doing tripping with Taylor now.
Tripping with Taylor. Gotcha. Okay, and I think this episode's gonna be about DMT.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Longtime researcher Dr. Stanislav Grof once said, "Psychedelics are for the mind what the microscope is for biology and the telescope is for astronomy." He was suggesting that psychedelics, like the microscope or telescope, have the potential to reveal realms of reality that were previously invisible to the naked eye. They provide a powerful lens for us to study and examine the mind in entirely new ways. But what if our bodies readily and naturally produced its own psychedelic substance? Might you be interested in how that substance relates to consciousness? Well, for the last several decades, scientists have known that to be true. Your body, my body, and all mammals for that matter, naturally produce a psychedelic substance called N N-Dimethyltryptamine, or DMT. DMT is a small molecule in our body whose molecular structure is incredibly similar to the structure of the neurotransmitter serotonin. And the fascinating thing is that even though we know so much about how critical serotonin is for the regulation of mood and brain function, science knows next to nothing about the role that DMT might be playing in the body. And what's more, DMT seems to be nearly ubiquitous in nature. Not only is it present across the animal kingdom, DMT is naturally produced by hundreds, if not thousands, of species of plants.
DMT's cool.
How do you know?
I've watched The Spirit Molecule.
This is the story of DMT, or dimethyltryptamine, a simple compound found throughout nature which has profound effects on human consciousness.
DMT, the spirit molecule. You know, it's a conundrum, it's a paradox.
DMT is astonishingly widely available in plants and animals all around the world, but so far nobody really knows why it's there.
Why is DMT in our bodies? Why is it in plants, in all sorts of mammals? What is the role it plays in humans?
And that was one of the original findings that led me to start looking for a spirit molecule, for a compound in the brain that elicited mystical experience.
What does it mean? Why is there a part of the brain that seems to be, for lack of a better word, a God detector?
I'm actually quite convinced that we're probing the biological basis of moral and ethical behavior.
It's a miraculous way for us to transcend ordinary reality and obtain maybe an intimation of what's necessary for survival.
I think DMT is a forcible reminder that there's a lot more about reality, the universe, ourselves, biosphere, whatever, that there's a lot more to it than we imagine.
You did?
That's a great
good.
movie.
You did watch the whole movie?
Yeah, a while back actually. So like I was doing a lot of research when I first started to like get into psychedelics, about like probably all psychedelics, but last year somebody gifted me a little bit of DMT, just a little bit, and it took me like a month to muster up the courage to try it, and it was like probably a point of DMT, like 0.1, and I had a horrible birthday, so I just remember that night I came home and I was like, I'm gonna try this, and I smoked it out of a Puffco because I researched it and it's best inhaled, but in like a vaporization chamber. So that's why a lot of people ingest it out of like crack pipes. You know what I mean? It literally, you've probably seen people smoking it before, but
Now first off, you're going to need a glass pipe. Now this is definitely not a crack pipe.
I never saw people smoking it before.
No? You're not even videos?
Not even the videos. In the videos that I watched, I saw PhD talking about it.
My name is Ralph Metzner. I'm a psychologist. I've recently retired from the California Institute of Integral Studies, but where I was professor, taught for 30 years, and I'm also a psychotherapist, and I do workshops and trainings and consciousness studies and research, shamanism. I've developed a training program that I call alchemical divination, which is divination as a way of accessing inner sources of knowledge and information.
But like for like a DMT user, you use like a bubble. That's what they're called. That's a horrible word, but I was like, I'm gonna use my Puffco because it has a perfect vaporization chamber where nothing will escape, and I just did like a little tiny bit, and it like just made me feel like really warm. I just took like a really deep breath, like a then you hold it in for as long as you can, and then you just exhale slowly, and then you start like just to feel it like kind of like overtake your body, and like yeah, it's insane. It's insane. I did it 3 times.
How
that
does
night.
it overtake your body?
Like you want to sit down if you like do it right. Like it doesn't.
Maybe even lay down.
It's not gonna make you like
Should you lay down? No.
I would say yes, lay down on like a comfy area. The first time I ever saw someone do DMT was actually really traumatic. I think I might have talked about it in like our first intro video, but like yeah, I had a friend like extracting DMT, and I got offered it, and something inside me was like, no.
Oh, that's good that you have this something inside of you. I'm very happy about that.
Right? It was like, wait for mushrooms. You haven't even done mushrooms yet. Like, just wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Something better. And then I just like watched my friend at the time do it, and he did it out of a bubble, and like with the torch and everything, and like I only took one really big massive hit and held it in. He took like 3 or 4. And
I think that's what people do.
What you're supposed to do, you're supposed to take like 3 big ones.
Yeah,
and
3
then
big ones.
You'll go. But like when I did just my little one, I could see how people like to do it at raves and concerts and stuff, because it was very mellow and like just like made the music bright, and it was very much like LSD, like on like lower doses, I feel like. And but oh man, when I watched my friend do this though, he like, it was like the textbook video where like they just like pass out for a second. Like he was out for like 4 or 5 minutes, and then he like sprung up and was like scanning the room, and like I was like, you all right, bro? Like, you okay? Everything? He's like, it just feels like a really, really, really intense acid trip. That's what he said. And then like I was like, we all said you should probably go, like you should probably lay down and close your eyes again. Try to go back into it, you know, just let go. And like he did that, and his legs like went out like this, like they were like stuck like this, and like his arms were like this.
Oh.
And like he was like locking up. He was like kind of having a seizure, I think. But
Oh
like
my
it was
God.
the weirdest seizure I've ever seen, where like he was like completely flexed, like everything in his body
Was
was
he scared?
flexed. He was like, I don't think he was conscious of this, right? And like he was like, his face kind of lost motor function.
Uh-huh.
Like I can't even describe it. Like it was really scary. And there's two people who've never even done any psychedelic at all in the room, and the girls were starting to freak out. And like I was like, it's okay. And my friend who made it was like trying to like pull his arms down, but they were solid. Like they were solid.
Oh my God.
The craziest thing happened. Like that voice inside me was like, it's gonna be okay. So
How did you know?
I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't. But something inside me said it was. So like I like put my hand on his shoulder, and I said that, and I was like, bro, you're gonna be okay. Like that. His body relaxed.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, that's why I was like, what did I just do? And like I was like, bro, can I drive home? Like, you kind of had a seizure there. And he didn't want to believe it. He was like, no, I'm fine. Like, he didn't want to believe what
Is that
just
the
happened
first time
to him.
he did DMT?
Yeah.
Did he get scared or not? What did he say?
He said it was very intense, but like he didn't really want to like talk about what happened, honestly. And I was like, bro, like, are you okay? But he basically said he like felt like he was kind of going into like a light almost. Like he said very similar experience, you know. But him just locking up like that scared me. Like that was when I was like,
I would probably call 911.
17. Yeah, but we waited like a couple hours to go home, and like he was fine. So
the whole experience should be in DMT like 15 minutes, right? No more than that.
Yeah, no, it was just, he didn't let go. I feel like he had too many people surrounding him, and like all the eyes watching him and stuff, and it was just like he just like tensed up instead of like just let go. You know, it was the opposite of what it was supposed to do. Yeah, it's scary, but there's like different types of DMT though. Like there's dimethyltryptamine, and then there's 5-MeO DMT.
Oh, I didn't know about that one.
So basically like all the lab stuff,
Uh-huh.
all the stuff that's made by us, we could make 5-MeO. There's this show called Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia on YouTube. It's pretty cool. But basically, he already followed the idea of synthesizing it ourselves instead of getting it from the toad, because the 5-MeO is from the toad venom secretions.
Right. But is it called DMT? I think this is.
It's 5-MeO DMT.
Like many amphibians, Bufo alvarius possesses a powerful defense against predators. When bitten, the toad secretes a milky white fluid from its parotid glands that can poison its attacker, making them extremely ill and sometimes causing cardiac arrest. While the psychedelic bufotenine has been detected in dozens of toad species, Bufo alvarius is the only amphibian known to biosynthesize its O-methyl homologue, 5-MeO DMT. The toad's neck and limbs carry numerous protuberant glands marked by pores through which venom is excreted from subcutaneous lobules that contain the enzyme responsible for biosynthetic conversion of bufotenine to 5-MeO DMT, in addition to the production of other tryptamines and cardiotoxic steroids. When the toad's secretions are dried and smoked, it produces a psychedelic effect so profound that it can cause complete dissociation from consensus reality.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I haven't tried that yet, but there's.
Maybe don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so when do you think was the first time you started researching DMT? How long ago?
Pretty long ago. Cause I was like 17, 18 when I first like started doing mushrooms. I was like 16 when I first did acid. Yeah.
But researching DMT, how did you find out about DMT? What you read? And what do you know about it?
Basically, I know that the molecule looks almost identical to serotonin. I know that apparently from the movie Spirit Molecule, we die and it gets released into our brains, or
when we're dying.
When we die, when we're born, and then when we sleep.
Correct.
But yeah, I feel like that's what dreams are.
Yeah.
And
so whenever Joseph was dreaming, you remember in Bible, the Bible, Joseph. Oh, he wasn't dreaming. He was interpreting dreams. But there was Pharaoh who was dreaming, right? 7 cows, skinny cows, and 7 fat cows. Remember? No? Haven't read the Bible? See, you should read the Bible because it's all about DMT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should.
Yeah. The Pharaoh was dreaming. DMT was released in his brain. And Joseph interpreted. And that's how Egypt became a huge country and made tons of money.
That's insane.
And started ruling the world.
I'm told you merely need to hear a dream. You can explain it.
Not me, Your Excellency. The explanation comes from God.
None of my wise men are magicians. None of my gods could help me. What makes you think your god is any different?
Tell me your dream, Pharaoh.
Every night it's the same. I am standing by the Nile. 7 healthy cows graze peacefully on the banks. But then 7 horrible, sickly cows come from the same river. The most wretched I have ever seen in Egypt. Suddenly they begin to devour the healthy cattle. And yet the cows remain as sickly as before. Then I wake up.
It's all DMT. No? Yes? Maybe?
I think so.
I think so too.
What I really think is like, I think everything's DMT, but we're not aware of it. I feel like every breath we make produces minuscule amounts of it, and we're experiencing reality.
So what do you think has DMT? We have DMT, you humans, right? You just said that we have DMT.
I feel like it's like running through our veins, you know what I mean? Like right now. Like.
So what about dogs or cats? Do they have DMT?
Definitely. I feel like that's how we're all connected.
What about flowers?
Yes. Because I heard about like anything that's like alive basically has it. Like this couch probably doesn't have DMT in it.
Probably not. I don't know.
But like,
we need to try to smoke it and see if it has any DMT in it. But I don't think so.
No.
But cool. So what do you think makes DMT?
Our third eye.
Pineal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Pineal gland.
I just call it pineal gland, and it's that third eye, right? That you can see it on Egyptian statues.
The movie.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Egyptian. Oh man, you're talking about Egyptian stuff. I remember just watching Prince of Egypt when I was a kid, like about the story of Moses and stuff, and like.
Oh, so you know the Bible?
Not in the DreamWorks movie sense.
I know. But did you watch the story of Joseph?
I think so.
It's one of the cool stories. You just didn't know that it's about DMT.
Yeah, that movie was crazy. Like I watched that movie on acid, Prince of Egypt, and like the part where he's like, oh man, where he's like going like, where he finds out that he's like Hebrew, you know, and like he like leans his head up against the wall, and like he closes his 2 eyes, but like his third eye opens, and then he's like on like hieroglyphics, like seeing the past and everything. I'm like, oh, that was so trippy. That movie on acid. 100%. You should watch.
So
even if you're not religious, that movie is insane.
Which is the one, Prince of Egypt?
Yeah, Prince of Egypt. That movie.
DMT, the DMT movie, Prince of Egypt.
That's an acid movie for sure.
It's an acid movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember when I found out about DMT and I read Spirit Molecular and I watched a bunch of videos from those people who tried DMT with Richard Strassman. I started thinking weird stuff, like really weird stuff. Like I was thinking that people maybe when they predict the future, you know, like who's the biggest predictor of future? Like Nostradamus, right?
There was once a man who could not be confined to his own time, and indeed believed he traveled into the future. He has been called the king among prophets, and his followers conjure visions of Armageddon and apocalypse with the mere mention of his name, Nostradamus.
No, everybody knows Nostradamus, the biggest predictor. You don't know Nostradamus? Oh my God. You don't know Bible, you don't know Nostradamus, but you do know LSD, peyotes. What else you know? Mescaline. Shrooms.
Mostly shrooms.
Mostly shrooms.
I did a lot of acid though when I was like younger, but something inside me was like, "You're done with that. You're okay. You don't need that no more." But I feel like I could, if I did do that today, I could make, like, if I set my intention to make like a piece of art or something, that's what I would do acid for. Or like go to like a concert or something, like.
Or maybe get a big book about Nostradamus.
I've heard that name before.
So his mom and dad were doctors at the French king's palace. And they converted to Catholicism from Judaism. So he brought up in Catholicism, and he became a doctor of kings as well. And he was fighting plague. And at that time, you know how fighting plague, we're pretty much isolating the area and trying to wash hands, maybe.
Yeah.
That would help. But, you know, at that time, it was difficult to figure that out.
Yeah.
And every time he was fighting plague, he was winning. But one time he lost. He lost to plague. And
Did he get it?
His wife and kids died. And after that, he went to monastery and he studied Bible. Nobody knows what he did in that monastery. Maybe he did some DMT.
Yeah.
Maybe, we don't know.
He stayed in the dark for 5 days.
He stayed in the monastery for 6 years.
That's crazy.
Then he left and he said, I'm gonna never lose to plague anymore again. And he never ever lost to plague. And he started writing little poems.
Although scholars still debate the lost years of Nostradamus, one thing is certain. He left home as a famous doctor, a man of science and medicine, and returned over a decade later as a seer and a weaver of prophecy.
And it was at this time that he wrote his first almanacs. And the almanacs that he published also had prophecies in them.
But while prophecies would bring him fame and immortality, his penchant for looking into the future challenged the status quo and put him at great risk.
One thing you have to understand about the prophecies is this is material that could cost Nostradamus' life. It was a very dangerous undertaking to go against the church and actually be called a prophet. The church defined the prophets.
Predicting future. And all his poems, the weird thing about his poems, that all his poems that were kind of about near future, they were all came out to be true, because you couldn't tell when he was saying the poem that it's really gonna happen, and how it's gonna happen. But after things happen, you could see that that's truly would happen. Like he would predict that the king will die from his best friend, and king made sure that he has no friends around him. He only was doing horse riding, so horse became his best friend.
Ooh.
He fell off the horse and died.
That's crazy.
So things like that, and then as it goes, if he predicts something in a very far future, then things weren't. You cannot tell if they were true or not.
Yeah.
But do you think he was maybe in DMT a little bit? I don't know. Hard to tell.
Yeah, I feel like we channel like into something. It's like there's something where like about vibration, like singing. You could travel without going anywhere. You know?
I know.
Like it's your spirit.
There's something magic about it, yeah. And there is if you put words on top of music, I think it's become even more magic.
I think so too. And like we don't mean to decode or encode messages or meanings, but I feel like sometimes it just comes out naturally. Like the message comes out that you want when you just feel it, you know? Like when you let it happen organically.
So pineal gland producing DMT. So I was thinking, what if Nostradamus didn't predict the future? What if Nostradamus created the future? And maybe not just Nostradamus, maybe Buddhists, when they meditating, they creating the future, or maybe all of us creating the future.
It's that one.
And I thought, this is so crazy.
It's all of
This is
us.
just so crazy. And I also think that thought that maybe somebody giving us signals from universe through pineal gland.
I think that too. That's crazy.
And I thought, if this is so crazy, but if there's a little bit, like 1% of it is true, somebody already would be thinking about it too. So I went to internet, and you know who I found?
Who?
Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla thought that I don't think he mentioned pineal gland or DMT, but he thought that we're making difference on the space, and space makes difference on us, and this is kind of going back and forth.
Yeah.
This is so crazy.
Like kind of like the inside of us being the outside, like to where like you could like think things in here, kind of like manifesting, but not manifesting. It's like we're doing it all the time, whether we like it or not, type situation, I think. And like being like aware of like the thoughts that you have is like a really good thing, I feel like. And like being able to like grasp the thoughts and like being able to articulate an idea, you know what I mean? Like it's, I don't know, definitely I feel like we're making our own reality as we're living it.
You know, I recently started thinking another weird thing. I think all the stars in the universe, and they say now universe is getting bigger, right?
Expanding
growing,
as every second, yeah.
And I think it's expanding because the more we know about it, the more it's expand, because it's expanding in our mind, and that's why we expand in it.
That's a good idea. I like that idea.
I like all those crazy ideas.
Me too.
But then, yeah, but you smoking some crazy stuff. I don't. I'm like in a sober head getting those crazy ideas. Can you imagine?
It's true. No, yeah. You don't need anything outside yourself. That's what like psychedelics teach you too. It's like you really don't need it, but like it's there, so it's like, I don't know, it's fun.
So cool. So DMT maybe will be available here in 2026
I think
for
so.
treatment of mental health.
That'd be cool. They're already doing trials and stuff, but yeah, no.
But you know what's very important for people to know about DMT is that I recently learned, if you have on SSRIs, do not take any DMT, because it actually can be really dangerous for you. No SSRIs. You can do SSRIs and magic mushrooms, SSRIs, ketamine, SSRIs, cannabis. No SSRIs and DMT. They just don't work together.
So like antidepressant stuff like that? Yeah.
Yeah. So people on antidepressants should stay away from DMT. If they want to have DMT,
get off of that first.
Get off that first.
Heck yeah.
And it seems like DMT is so powerful.
Yeah, it is.
And all psychedelics so powerful, but DMT is huge, because when magic mushrooms, you have to be on magic mushrooms for like 6 hours, right? On DMT, 15 minutes, and you have. something happened, right?
Mhm.
I don't know, nothing happened to me because I haven't tried, but people.
Yeah,
but
flipping through channels. Mushrooms are better though, I feel like.
Than DMT?
In my opinion, I think they are.
They're probably less risky because
You don't have to use any solvents to like extract anything and like.
But you know, DMT, ayahuasca has DMT, right? So it's also you don't have to have a synthetic DMT. You can use ayahuasca DMT. But I'm just thinking because it's so more intense that it's more risky.
Yeah.
Because mushrooms you can be for 6 hours on mushrooms, right?
Mhm.
And this DMT you for 15 minutes and you have the same result. I'm not in a hurry. Are you in a hurry? You're 6 hours fine.
Yeah, 6 hours is chill.
Although LSD can be a much longer trip, right?
That's why I'm like kind of like hesitant about it,
And
doing it right now. Just
MDMA is a long trip too.
Yeah, but I feel like MDMA is like not as like up here as like mushrooms or acid or DMT. It's more like the euphoric sense of the psychedelic, not the like existential, like, you know what I mean? Like it's like all the bubbly fairy tale-ness of the psychedelic. That's what Molly is. Like acid and like mushrooms is like, you're gonna die. You're gonna die, bro. It's true. But it makes you comfortable with it though. Like there's this one sticker that you ordered today for 420, and it was like what do mushrooms do? They deal with death. You know what I mean? They're decomposers. Like for our spirit, I feel like, I don't know, they like prep our spirit for it. Like, I don't know. Like I'm scared of pain and stuff, but like not necessarily scared to die. Feed me 300 milligrams of edibles, I'm so scared to death. But like, yeah, the sticker was like this moon man, this skeleton guy falling, and it was like mushroom parachutes. So it's like you don't have to be afraid. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's what DMT does too, because it just like press a button, you're done. You know what I mean?
Yep. But you know, it just so cool that people on mushrooms or other psychedelics, they just felt like they have different realities, more realities than they had before, more dimensions than they have before, and they think that death is just we're gonna be transferred to something else, some new reality and something else, but it's not gonna be the end of the whole thing. It's like maybe, I don't know. What do you think? What did you feel? I don't feel anything.
Well, like in the last video, I talked about dissolving. Like I felt like I dissolved. That's it. You just literally dissolve, and like you're not aware that you're dissolved. But like, I feel like if we have a kid, like you kind of stay on this earth. Like if your bloodline doesn't end with you, you're still kind of here, you know, like you're living, your blood is in your child, you know what I mean? You're living through your kid until like maybe down the road, maybe like, I feel like our souls get recycled somehow. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like
a bunch of religions believe in it.
Yeah, you might be your great grandfather, and I might be my great grandmother. You know what I mean? It's just weird how like a male or a female comes from a male and a female. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that shit's weird, bro. Like the little things we take for granted about like our sex, like that shit is like how we function is fucking weird. Like, isn't that weird?
The whole world is extremely weird.
Oh man, it's
How did we get stuck in this crazy reality?
I don't know, but I
the
feel
good thing is kind of cool and beautiful some days. Like
Me too.
Today is really beautiful day.
Same.
Just perfect for this reality. Just perfect.
It is. Yeah, I know.
70 degrees in Colorado. What can be better than that? So, you know, I think it's time to go and start enjoying the weather today.
Same.
But, you know, before we go, please like us.
And please subscribe for some more of Tripping with Taylor.
Yeah, and please leave us comments and tell us what is your favorite trip or what you think Is it
Yeah.
something crazy we're talking about? Or this is what you think as well?
Yeah, let us know if we're on the money or if we're missing completely.
Well, see you later. Thanks so much.
With every like, Taylor will read one page of the Torah/Bible.
While he is on LSD.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheshire Corners out.